Hello everybody, happy Tuesday. You know what Tuesday means? It's the Meet Your Coaches inside of the Bloom. Yay, I hope you can hear me. I'm hoping someone's going to pop on. So today we are meeting the beautiful Alina, who is our Dream into Your Bloom reality coach inside in the Bloom. So I'm hoping I can see her. I'm hoping she's going to request to join. Can you just give me a thumbs up just to make sure that you can hear me? Because I know the last couple of ones I've had a few technical issues and I don't want that to happen today. So can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up or something. Let me see. Mindset and manifestation coach. She's also a YouTuber. Oh, thank you, Tony. Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Do you
I'm
hear
good,
me?
thank you.
My
Yes, I can hear
connection
you.
is not the best, so I
Oh,
hope this
bless you.
won't cut off.
Whereabouts are you in the world?
I'm in
Germany.
Germany right now.
I
Where are
thought it
you?
was. I'm in the UK.
Ah, okay, nice.
Yeah, I was I was catching up on last night's Zoom, and you mentioned that you really used to hate Germany, but now you've obviously changed your mindset and you absolutely love it now. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's true.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I still love like traveling and exploring other countries, but like my perspective just has changed so much, like on just being here and enjoying like the little things, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. We were speaking about that last week. We were on the last Zoom where you do like the more layers you heal, you just appreciate and you're just so grateful for the little
So
things, aren't you?
yeah, you see like the world really like through different eyes when
Yeah.
you realize like how grateful you can be. And it was definitely like a travel thing because I've seen like a lot of contrast when I was living, for example, in Mexico, and like things I used to take for granted here in Germany, like it was just not the way how people live there.
Yeah.
And it just really helped me change my perspective a lot. But like now that I'm going out, like I just see so much abundance
Yeah.
everywhere. And it's just like it's crazy to think like when you look back on like how you used to be and how you used to behave and take things for granted and just like complain all the time, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. And like you was talking about yesterday is that reticular activating system. The more you look for the negative, the more you
Yeah.
receive, the more you
Yeah.
program your
Like
mind with
whatever you're
that.
gonna focus on, like you will see that expanding.
Yeah. 100. So let me ask you, can you just introduce yourself to our lovely listeners? So
Yeah.
you are part of the Inner Bloom, you are Bloom into Your Dream reality coach. We have you a masterclass with you every single month. So tell us about yourself. What
Yeah.
is it you do?
Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to this live. I'm so happy to be here and talk to all of you guys. Hello to everyone. My name is Alina. I'm from Germany and I'm a mindset manifestation coach for the last couple of years. I've been in online business. I've started my journey like 4 years ago with network marketing, and that kind of like prior to network marketing like brought me into the online, like basically like this manifestation topic was so talked about on TikTok all of a sudden, which brought me then also to like discover more like personal development. The first book that I actually read was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I started just like diving into it. I became really obsessed with it, and up to this point I was really like that person used to complain all the time, telling myself I'm so broke, I'm like worth nothing, whatever, and like just having a really negative outlook on life, or like feeling like I don't deserve to be happy, stemming from like past and trauma and whatnot. But then, you know, through like really diving into like personal development, like that changed a lot. I started my first business and it really grew like very fast. And then I kind of like blew up on social media during the same time I started traveling. And yeah, then that one topic that really sticked with me for like forever, or since I started, was always mindset and manifestation. I was just so obsessed with personal development, growing yourself, spirituality. And yeah, then, you know, I think it was this year, April, I came across Inner Bloom, and right away when I saw it, like I logged on the platform literally. I actually got it for the $99 version still. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is so undervalued. This is so underpriced. But when I saw all those topics and I was like diving through it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be a coach on that. Like I actually want to like be a part of this, right? And then I think it was 2 months later, and I started to connect more with Sammy as well. And then she asked me, because she was seeing my YouTube videos, because last year I also started my channel. And then she was asking me to join the platform as a mindset manifestation coach, because I used to always talk about law of assumption, self-development, self-growth, mindset. And she was, you need to become a part of this. And that's how I basically ended up here.
Yay, amazing. Yeah, so you've got a YouTube channel as well, and that's all about manifestation as well,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, basically mindset, personal development, healing yourself, overcoming your trauma, whatever. And yeah, mindset and manifestation, basically.
Amazing. So what was, so you mentioned you've read The Secret. What was like the catalyst that kind of got you into it? Did you like hit rock bottom? Some people like hit that rock bottom and then
Yeah,
like find
100,
it. What was yours?
100%. I've definitely like experienced that multiple times, not just this time, but like that was like the initial thing. Like I was for a while like really, really depressed. Like I had a job that I didn't like. I was working in the customer service, and I used to complain about that all the time. Like, I hate my job, I hate my life, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it was actually really funny because my ex-boyfriend, like, he was very toxic, but we still used to be together and stuff. And his mom, she came up with this huge box from her basement with all of these different books. And there was The Secret, like within all those books, and there was The Secret. And it caught my eye immediately, obviously, because of this nice, mysterious cover. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is this book? And she actually told me back then, like, oh, this is just some woo-woo stuff. Like, this is not for everyone. And I was like, I like woo-woo. Let me get that. And I had it like inside of my room, like for the longest time. Like, I wouldn't just read it, but every single time I'd pass, like, it crossed my eye. But that back then I wasn't really much into reading. So then basically when my ex-boyfriend and I, like, we broke up, and I actually took that book with me, because I was like I need to take this with me. And that's when I started reading it. And then my life started crumbling. Literally, I started reading it, and I was like writing down things like, I find my purpose, I find my career path, like I find something that fulfills me. And then I lost my job. I lost my income. I lost my home. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I prayed for, financial breakthrough, or like finding my career path. And then when I started reading more and more, I actually realized exactly what was happening. I was manifesting. Like, my life started to fall apart in front of my eyes.
That tower
What is
moment, isn't
happening?
it? Yeah, the
Yeah,
tower, like, it's all got to crumble so you can rebuild
totally.
it all.
Yeah, totally. And then basically from there on, I started like writing down a couple of things, like just small things, like maybe, $1,000 or whatnot. And I had zero income. And it worked for the first time when I wrote down like $1,000. And that's like, in that month, even I didn't have any income, I still somehow manifested that money. And that was like a huge breakthrough for me, like a confirmation, okay, this shit works. And I kept on doing it. I kept on reading more about it. And then I wrote myself, like, I didn't have my business back then. Okay. So I wrote myself a check of $10,000, because that's what I read in this book, in The Secret, right? Like when they talk about Jim Carrey and like how he wrote himself the like $10 million. So that was like a little bit far off for me, but I wrote myself a check of $10,000. And then the next month I started my business, and then literally, I kid you not, like 7 months later, until that day, the exact day that were written down, like I'm gonna hit that 10K month mark, I hit it. And it was just so crazy to me. And since then, I've been just like manifesting so many other different things. And yeah, I just wanted to always share the knowledge and like my strategies and everything that I do with the world and other people, and like women especially. And yeah, I'm super passionate about that.
Wow, it's crazy. I love that. And you've got the evidence now,
Yeah,
and that's the thing, isn't it? You've got the evidence, so you're like, wow, this shit works.
yeah,
I've got to keep doing this. You keep doing it and doing it, and then growing it and growing it, and setting
yeah.
obviously the goals bigger.
Like I start to like, now I really like start playing with it, like seeing it not so much as like, oh, I want this, and please, like, hopefully it will somehow deliver. Like, I kind of like start to see it as like, universe is my bestie. I'm having conversations, and it's just like playful, and
Like
trying to not,
flirting.
yeah, yeah, flirty. Exactly.
Flirt with the universe.
Right.
Amazing. So if someone was listening to this now that was really like new to manifestation, obviously other than reading The Secret, and obviously there's the other book, is it Magic? There's the second one, isn't there? There's Magic as well. Other than reading that book, what would you suggest for them to kind of get started?
I think that is actually the perfect book to get started with. So if you want to learn about manifestation and like taking responsibility for your life and learn about it, I think The Secret is very easy to read. And also there's a movie. Like I love, like I'm a visual person, so I love that there was also the movie.
Yeah,
And that's what I really recommend anybody that starts with manifestation or wants to learn more about that to watch that movie and to start reading that book. And then, yeah, like get yourself more inside of that topic and find what really works for you, because there's so many different strategies. Like I see people like blowing cinnamon into someone's house, or like I don't know, like so many different strategies and manifestation techniques, but like it is really about just finding what works for you and what feels good in your heart, and trusting that gut feeling of like
yeah,
that is the right direction. And then just start doing it, like writing down some goals, writing down your feelings, your thoughts, and really practicing to tap into your feelings, because manifestation is so much about that like feeling state and connecting with your heart. And I can just recommend anybody like to really start opening your heart and like start to listen to yourself and start trusting yourself again, even
yeah,
when it comes to like goal creation. Like what do you actually want? Like so many people think, for example, oh, like I want to have financial freedom, but they don't even know what that actually means for them. Like for every single person, that's different. So the first thing that you need to really become aware of is like, what do you actually want to manifest, and why specifically? Like, why do you want to manifest it so much? And most of the time, it's not about the thing, it's about the feeling it creates. And then really trying to reapply that feeling sort of in your own day-to-day life, and finding evidence for that certain feeling in smaller things that you maybe already have. And that's when it gets recreated automatically and it feels more effortless because you're already tapping into that.
yeah. And it's gratitude, isn't
Yeah,
it? Gratitude for what you've already
yeah.
got. That is like,
Is literally like love, just feeling,
yeah,
oh, like this, bubbly state. Like that's when it's like the most easy to manifest, for sure.
yeah, definitely. When you're in that happy, gratitude, joy state. And I think it's amazing you're a mindset and manifestation coach, because your mindset is literally like the starting point, isn't it? If you've got a
Yeah,
negative mindset, like negative outlook on life, you're
you will
never going to manifest.
100% find evidence of that mindset.
Yeah,
It's all the inner beliefs, and it's so interesting, like why I'm also so passionate. Like it's like a love hates relationship sometimes, when you like dive deeper and you feel like, oh, I figured this all out, and then you find another layer of like limiting beliefs, and you're like, where do these come from right now? You have to do some more work
yeah,
and some more work, and it's never ending. But that's also like the beauty of it, because if you really learn to enjoy the journey and enjoy the growth, and finding all these puzzle pieces from that puzzle, where in the end you have no idea how it's going to look like it's just so magical, I think. Like, and that's like the fun of it. You just have to like learn how to really fall in love with it.
yeah. Like you say, I think that's a really hard part that a lot of people don't realize is the trusting yourself.
Mhm.
And I think that's like with love, with everything, you've got to learn to love and trust yourself before you can love others, before obviously you can manifest all of this. Because if you're not happy within you, then it's like it's not
Yeah.
going to happen, is it?
Yeah, 100%. And also that we learn how to, like, that we remember our power. Like, so many people, and I feel like, especially women, like,
Yeah,
it's so easy for us to just give that power away and to feel so helpless and out of control. Especially, like, people that have been through trauma, maybe. Like, we just have that narrative in our minds that we are, like, that we are this powerless being, or like out of control. We're just here on this planet. We don't know what to do, like, learn helplessness, kind of. But then really, like, manifestation is just really about remembering who you are and the power that you hold, even like in those moments where you believe you have no power. And coming back to that creation state, because I feel like it's like everything is so much placed outside of yourself. Like everyone is always focused on like, get this, get that, have this, like, because it's so much about like the material things and having things, instead of being and becoming. And I believe like manifest, or like the most important part of it is actually like realizing who you are and like the power that you have and taking back that control by taking ownership and responsibility for what you have created, then at the same time not judging yourself for it. And that gets tricky sometimes because like we are so self-critics most of the time and being frustrated about like our back choices and like the past. But yeah, it's really finding that balance between acceptance and thriving for more.
Yeah, it's the shame and the guilt, isn't it? That's a really heavy
Yeah,
wound that us women carry as well.
yeah,
It's healing those shame wounds, the guilt that we all carry, because they're really heavy
yeah.
ones.
And that's why I love so much Inner Bloom. Like it helped me so much over the last couple of months. Like I've been really like almost every day on the platform, like in some way, whether I listen to the subliminals or I've done the entire chakra healing yoga sessions, like self-awareness. I learned about crystals, like all those topics that I always found like super interesting. And it just helped me so much, like guide myself through this. Like we had so many breathwork sessions that came up so much. Like even if you are a coach, especially if you're a coach or like you're in the online business world, there are so many influences. And especially because we are teaching people, sometimes it gets so hard to like figure out like, oh, but like I need to also keep on learning and keep on growing myself. And Inner Bloom really gives you that platform where you have that safe space, no matter like if you're a total beginner or if you're like already experienced and you already have like, you know, a lot of knowledge about these topics. But like it helped me so much to become also for myself a better coach and like teach people about things that I wasn't fully aware of or hadn't really like grasped it fully, you know. So yeah, I'm really passionate about like the opportunity that Inner Bloom in this space like holds. And I believe like we will create such a big impact with this and like helping so many women like really to discover that creator state within them. And I think that's so amazing.
Yeah, so powerful. And I love Sammy's mission, and for her to have met and got so many amazing coaches like yourself, like over 70 coaches in there. There's literally nothing out there
Yeah.
like this, is there?
No,
And
it's not. And like just as Sammy said one time, like it's its own ecosystem in a
mm,
way, because like the more coaches are gonna get involved, or the more people are gonna get involved, the more people from those networks like want to become a part of this. So
yeah,
it's like self-growing space, and I think it's just so cool.
yeah.
I love her for, you know, really like having that idea and creating this.
Yeah, and I get very much logical. So even when I first met Sammy, I was so in awe of everything she created.
Yeah,
I was like, how? Because my brain automatically goes to that. How did you do that? Like, how am I going to do this? How are you going to do that? Like, I was like, how have you done this? How have you created this?
yeah,
It just blows my
it's
mind.
insane. Like how much work and responsibility goes into that as well.
Yeah,
Like I really admire her for just holding that strength and that, you know, power within herself to be energetically ready to like hold all this, like all these women, all these people on that
yeah.
platform. And yeah, it's really
And
impressive.
continue to grow as well.
Yeah,
It's just
crazy. Right? Like
mind
the
blowing.
amount of like master classes we just have this month, it's insane. Like I've
Yeah.
literally yesterday saw the post from Sammy where she was talking about like the content creation that's gonna happen tonight, and then
Tonight, yeah.
tomorrow we're gonna have this like Lionsgate.
Lionsgate.
Oh my gosh, like I'm really excited for that one. I loved all those parts, like past, like about like what was it that one again? Um, about the Mercury retrograde and stuff, like
Yeah.
all those different ones from for astrology.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
became a little bit of astrology girly through Inner Bloom.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, there's so much. There is literally so much that we can dive into. But yeah, I'm excited for Lionsgate. But I was like, Sammy, have we got anything coming up for the Lionsgate? She's like, no, but we can get one. And she did. She's like, made it happen. I'm like, oh my God, this is
Yes.
amazing.
I mean, we have literally for every single topic, we have somebody that is an expert in that field, and that's like where it's getting so powerful. Where all these like people that have like that is their power, that is their strength, that is their power, and then we connect all of those and like grow even more, and it's just so amazing.
Yeah, it is. So yes, in yesterday's masterclass, you was telling us all about
Mm-hmm.
self-concept. Is there like a little, can you kind of simplify it and tell everyone listening like how self-concept kind of affects this kind of like your mindset, and obviously because it's about you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Self-concept.
So I think simplified. I
Yeah.
try to my best to simplify it, but like I always say that like reality works like a mirror. And if you look into the mirror, and like if you smile or if you don't smile, you look like, you know, complaining about something, you look angry, like the mirror will reflect that back to you, right? Like it will either smile or look angry. So that's basically how I see self-concept. Like whatever you do, your reality will do as well. Like your reality is created through you, through your mindset, your beliefs, your emotions, and all of the habits that you have, like your entire programming and conditioning from your early childhood years up to like, you know, adult life where you develop new belief systems. And basically what is your self-concept? It's all about like those beliefs, right? So if you want to like whatever you see in your reality right now is a reflection of that, as a result of that self-concept of all these beliefs that you're holding. And if you want to change that because you don't like your reality, then initially you have to go back to the starting point, which is yourself, which is your beliefs, thoughts, actions, habits, and, you know, all those multitudes of those things, in order to change them and recreate them. So you have to go back to like, what are all your beliefs about life? Like, what do you believe is true about yourself, how the world functions, how other people are treating you, how the world just is in general? Like, is this a safe space for you? Is this like are you anxious going outside the door? Like, do you believe, you know, are you suspicious? Like all those little small habits and beliefs that you have about people. Like I've seen a lot of like women, for example, right now in the online space are talking about men are being like feminine, like they're all so feminine and they're all like not even masculine anymore. They talk about like men are princesses. So this is like one specific belief system that you can adapt to, take it inwards, like take it within yourself, you believe it, and then you will see evidence outside in your reality reflecting it, right? So it goes for older beliefs but also for newer beliefs. And you just have to be really like become aware, so much aware and conscious about the things that you believe, the things that you hear, the things that you take on, like, you know, whether it's music or what you're watching in the news or online in the online space, and really pick and pinpoint what do you really actually want to believe from all of those things, because this will shape your reality in one way or the other. And you have to be really mindful about the things because it will create exactly what you're going to experience. So yeah, that's about self-concept. Like it is everything in the end. Like you will create your reality exactly through that.
Yeah. Was that the mirror effect? Is that the name of that?
Yeah, mirror principle, exactly.
Yeah. And everything is life as a mirror. It's crazy. And with the way the world is at the minute, I think, you do have to be so mindful of everything you're listening to, the frequency, what you like, turn the telly off. I did a post earlier about like the media, just turn the TV off, stop reading the paper.
Yeah.
Because they want us living in a state of fear. And that's probably a conversation for another day. But yeah, it's so true.
Aware that we are attracting those type of men because we're speaking and thinking about that. That's exactly that. And it starts to get this huge ball like of trends and everyone's talking about it. And that's how it starts to manifest, because everyone is talking about it and everyone is thinking about it and believing that this is the new reality. When in fact, like you can shut it off. You have to sometimes like put those, you know, like
the blinkers.
Yeah. Put it on and be like, no, like this is not what I want to believe. Like I want to believe in good men and high value men. Like I am high value. Like that's what I'm gonna attract, you know? And it's really like start to see the things that you really want to see and not the things that you do not want to see just because it's a hype right now.
Yeah, I was talking to a client yesterday and she was like, why do I always attract these men, these like narcissistic, like psychopathic men? I was like, because you're creating your reality. You're not learning the lesson from the last one. So you're putting it out there. You're attracting these guys because there's a lesson you need to learn in it. And that's where you've got to do the inner work to find out what that is.
Yeah.
To change the pattern, to delete it and create a new one.
Affirming in that moment that it's always happening to her. You know, and instead of like thinking, okay, like this is my self-concept because of what I'm saying that is always happening to me and this is a pattern and I have to be the one breaking it. It's not the man, it's like it's you. And it's sometimes so hard because it can be like people are like, what? I do not want that, you know, like they're offended almost. But it's like you have to take that responsibility and you have to also then in that way like loving responsibility, like stop judging yourself for having done those decisions when you were unaware, because you always do your best with what you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, that's the game. Like, you just have to become more aware, and then you can start making new choices, because you will never have a choice if you're unconscious.
So true. And I think once you realize that, it's
Mhm.
like, whoa. It's like the self-awareness is just like mind-blowing. But
Yeah,
it's also hard. It's hard to, it's like a bitter pill to swallow, we said last week,
yeah.
where you are the creator of your reality. Like, you have
Perfect. Oh,
created this reality. You attracted these guys into your
exactly.
reality. But so
Exactly.
what are you going to do to change it? Because it is your responsibility, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, especially because the ego like just loves to separate, and like loves to have these identifications and blaming others, instead of like being like, what, it's me? Like, no, it's, of course it's not me. Like, this entitlement somewhat, and like we all have it at some point, but this is how we are getting to that point where that trigger is showing up just so much that we're so like, what is going on? Like, these things are actually like good things, because they lead us to the right path again.
Yeah.
Without those triggers, like, we would just keep on living that same life without ever becoming aware of it. Like, what kind of life would that be, you
Yeah.
know?
And you just keep coming back until you learn it. You just keep coming back
Yes.
in a different
And you
lifetime.
realize this pattern, like, oh my god, yeah, I can sing a song from this. Like, all those like toxic guys, 100%. I've been there too. So I know what I'm talking about, and I also know how I was able to change that by, for myself, like owning up to what I did, and that I maybe didn't have the best self-worth, or having not set up boundaries, or maybe having them like set up, but then allowing other people to step on them, or letting them like slide through, or ignoring the red flags and not listening to my intuition, because initially, like, my intuition is always on point. And especially as women, we have this natural ability and this gift inside of us, that if we would just like more connect to our body and stop like distracting us so much and listen to everybody else, that's when we can really tap into that again. And I believe like that is also, where inner bloom comes into place, where they will like, where inner bloom will literally teach you how to connect to your body again. And it will feel weird. Like, sometimes you might even ask yourself, like, is this the truth right now? Because you've been so conditioned to not listen to it and constantly ignore it. But in the end, if you think back to all those, you maybe, small signs when you met somebody where you're like, I actually did know I had this feeling, but I just choose to not listen to it. I choose to ignore it. And that's when you have to take that ownership of, yeah, it was actually me, because you will only attract these people if you allow them in your life, and you have control of who you allow in your life.
Yeah, 100%. And that goes back to self-concept, self-worth, your self-belief. It all comes back to that, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is where you need to start.
Yeah.
Like, this is the start. So many people think like, oh, I'm just gonna like manifest all this money and like my, partner, my perfect partner. So what happens, like, even if you manifest this perfect partner, but like then you have maybe no self-worth, and you have like hard time setting up boundaries, you will go through that same old pattern. Even if you have manifested that perfect person, or the perfect paycheck, if you still have those limitations when it comes to money, and that hurt relationship, it all comes up again. So you, in one way or the other, you're always going to have to go back to the root of the issue,
Yeah.
and start to do the inner work, which is your self-concept, and like, those limiting beliefs that you have.
Yeah. Because you just sabotage it again, don't you?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same like if you won the lottery, you might have manifested winning the lottery, but if you can't hold that kind of money, you're just going to blow it and lose it anyway.
Exactly.
So then you're back to stage
There's
one again.
so many stories about like, lottery winners that were like, oh yeah, I become a millionaire, and then they blow all the money, and they're like
Yeah.
even more broke than before.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wonder like, how did that
Because
happen?
they
Well,
didn't feel worthy of
yeah,
holding that kind of money. Yeah.
exactly.
It's so deep, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
So if anyone is listening, honestly, self-concept is literally the place to start, because it all starts with us and it will all end with us, and everyone is worthy. And that's where all of our passions, all the coaches in Inner Bloom and Inner Bloom, is we want women to know how worthy they are, and that they do get to heal, and everything does get to be amazing. You get to manifest your perfect partner and the financial freedom. But if you're not doing the inner work,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you've just got to start there, and that's where Inner Bloom is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's like I always say, like, I'll give you this example with like, you're building a house, right? And you want to build a strong foundation of the house, like where the walls are strong and like no storm can come and like shake it up. Because if you build that like weak foundation and you put like the most amazing, the most expensive furniture into that house, like everything is perfect, but then one storm comes up and like everything will fall down, like all your furniture is destroyed because you haven't built that foundation. And like that is literally the self-concept, like that foundation of that you're building. And like with whatever, you know, good self-concept you build, then you will have all the success in all the different areas. And it literally just starts with that initial, like, I'm gonna love myself, I'm gonna do that inner work for me so that I can, you know, manifest what I want, but also keep it. You know, that's the hardest part, because what is even more painful than not manifesting the things you want is manifesting the things you want and then losing them again.
And then you're like, damn,
Oh, yeah.
same circle again.
I've been there, so believe me, like I've been there. I know exactly how awful that feels sometimes.
Yeah. So if people would wanted to work with you on this kind of work, like, do you have a program? Obviously, outside of Inner Bloom, you've obviously got your own clients. So how can people connect with you and kind of work with you?
Yeah, so basically I have my YouTube channel, first of all. So if you want to like watch certain videos about me,
I'm going to dive into that.
My YouTube channel, Aliana Jolie. You know, connecting with me on Instagram. Like if anyone would have, like I do not have a current like private program right now, but I do take on one-on-one clients when they come to me with like asking for it, right? And yeah, then I'm on Inner Bloom on that platform. I'm currently working on my own like on my own, you know, workshop for the future. So it stays a secret for now, but yeah, if anyone wants, they can just.
And we're so lucky. We get to have you every month in Inner Bloom.
Yeah, exactly.
Monthly workshop. Amazing. So just to end it then, Alina, if you were to share one message with the women watching in the world, like what would your message be?
Oh my God, that's so hard.
Other than everything you've already told us, obviously.
Yeah, so I think my message would be to really learn how to be authentically you. Like there's so many women in the world who like compare themselves and, you know, they're so focused on what everybody else does. And they end up being so unaligned with what they do and so frustrated sometimes and feeling like they have to play a different role. They have to be somebody else when in the end they're not. And, you know, when it comes to like being authentic, like really learning how to love yourself and, you know, knowing that that old narrative that you have been telling yourself must not be the end game, must not be your end story. Like you can always reinvent yourself and always, you know, go a different route by coming up with that self-love and that courage that you deserve the best and that you deserve to be your authentic way, because that exactly is the reason why you're here. And to discover that is like the most beautiful heart sometimes journey that you can go on, but it will 100% be worth it. Yeah. So I think that's my message.
I love that. I love that. Oh, thank you so much, Alina. And thank you for joining me today. And obviously everyone go follow her because she is absolutely amazing at what she does. And come join us inside Inner Bloom because you get to be with her every single month in your amazing masterclasses. So thank you so much, Alina.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.